2. Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a TV review and today I'll be having a look at Spartacus, Episode 8 of Season 3, subtitled Separate Paths. So the episode starts off with Spartacus and his forces really running away from the Romans, who are sort of in hot pursuit. There's a minor skirmish at the beginning and Spartacus sort of accurately points out that the Romans are really just trying to slow them down and sort of wound some people, so they are kind of, the forces are slowing down for the main sort of Roman force, which is sort of 3 or 4 days behind them to sort of catch up. So the first half of this episode really is the Romans in pursuit of the rebel forces. Now, and what you have is once again you have Crixus and Spartacus sort of disagreeing on the path they should take. Spartacus kind of wants to sort of try and get as many of the rebel forces to safety as he can, and he believes that sort of going past these sort of mountains will kind of, and they'll be able to disperse after that. Whilst Crixus wants to take the fight head on with the Romans and take it directly into Rome. But this time, instead of just arguing about it, they actually agree to go in 2 separate paths, hence the title. And what you have is basically the rebel force split into 2, with half going in the direction of Rome and half going with Spartacus. And it's really down to their own choice about where they want to go. So with Crixus, you've got obviously Naevia, his woman, that goes with it, and also you've got Agron. Whilst the rest of the sort of forces, Gannicus, Saxo, etc., go with Spartacus. And they do make the point of saying that the majority of the fighting force actually goes with Crixus. Now, before that actually happens, they assault a kind of Roman villa that they stumble across, sort of trying to resupply, and there's sort of a short-lived battle there. And then you've got kind of a bit of a party scene almost, where they're pretty much saying goodbye to one another. And there's some great bromance moments there from Crixus and Spartacus, Gannicus and Crixus and vice versa. Pretty much everyone is sort of saying their goodbyes to each other and kind of saying how much they mean to each other, etc. And that's all very good. And you've also got the Roman woman, who I can't remember her name, the Roman woman who was the wife of the person that Spartacus killed, has kind of like ended up with them as a slave. There's actually a bit of a romance now sort of building between her and Spartacus, and they end up consummating it. So that was I could see that happening, to be honest. One thing I didn't like with this episode is that Gannicus is now seems absolutely infatuated with the slender brunette slave, the young brunette slave, and kind of have ditched off Saxa. I don't really like that coupling, to be honest. It seems a bit, he seems so uninterested in her initially, and I really like him and Saxa together, to be honest with you. And he's kind of he seems to be, the way it plays in this episode, he's like madly in love with this girl now, and it's just, I don't know, it seemed a bit rushed to me. I didn't really feel like he had felt that way before. So that's a kind of maybe a mild criticism with this episode. And so after this sort of like this big party, this villa that they have, they basically agree to go their separate ways. Now in the meantime, you've got Marcus Crassus basically losing his marbles a little bit about the sort of getting frustrated that he simply hasn't killed Spartacus yet, and also the fact that his kind of slave he was having a sort of an affair with has also now sort of joined the rebels, and he strikes out at a senator who sort of basically comes around for a status report, and also he's making some questionable decisions, and Caesar's picking up on it and sort of like pleading with them to sort of do different choices. For example, when they find out that the forces have split, there's some discussion about who they should go after, be it Crixus' side or Spartacus' side, and probably quite rightly so, that Caesar sort of says, like, we need to defend Rome. Once you've got Tiberius sort of thing, he should go towards Spartacus when in his weakened state. And obviously the sort of, although early on in the episode, I have to say, it looked like maybe I thought maybe Tiberius and Caesar may end up being on the same page a little bit when Kraus is beating the hell out of this senator. It looks like they almost sort of like looking at each other and kind of thinking, oh God, what's going on here? But that trust me, this episode massively widens the rift between those two when Caesar finds out that basically Tiberius had raped this favourite female slave of Marcus Crassus and threatens to expose him. Basically, with the help of 2 of his legionnaires, Tiberius ends up bum raping Caesar in quite an unexpected scene, I have to say. So there's that. Anyway, so now Tiberius is a serial rapist. That's going to be interesting to see where it's going with Caesar now. Now, I have to say, on the subject of Caesar, I was never a big fan of his character in the earlier episodes of this season, but I have grown to kind of quite like his character now. So there was talk of a Caesar spin-off, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, but I wasn't too keen on it. But I maybe am kind of warming to the idea a bit now, because I think he's maybe a bit more of a well-rounded character than he first appeared to be. And then basically at the end of the episode, before I get to this, there are going to be some huge spoilers here. So if you haven't seen this, I really suggest watching this episode before continuing with this video. So with these forces split, you've got basically Crixus on his way to Rome, killing any Romans in his path, and you sort of see there's sort of a battle between them and the sort of the final sort of legion that's standing between them and Rome, which they kind of defeat more easily, just fairly easily. And just when you think they might have some success, it turns out that they have followed Caesar's advice, and Crassus's forces have caught up to Crixus, and there's a large battle, and pretty much all of Crixus's forces get decimated. Now we see Agron get killed. Tiberius actually kills him, and then you've got at the very end of the episode, Tiberius also puts a spear through Crixus's back, and basically doesn't kill him straight away, but he's fallen to his, and they capture him. Pretty much everyone else is dead, and they decided to behead Crixus as a message. And once again, Tiberius is the one that kills him. So now Tiberius has killed both Crixus and Agron. So although it was maybe not on a face-to-face battle, if you see what I mean. So the final episode is you see Crixus being beheaded, and so it ends on quite a sort of like a gasping moment. But to be fair, we all knew this was going to happen if you're sort of at all familiar with obviously historical events, because it doesn't particularly end well for anyone from Spartacus's group. Although there have been, from what I understand, there have been rumours maybe that the creators of this show may, change a little bit here. I don't think Spartacus will live. I'm still thinking Gannicus might end up surviving. Yeah, that was quite a sort of shocking episode in a way, because obviously, although you knew it was coming, it was still, when you see it on screen, this is a character that we've seen, well, for the whole series of this show. To get beheaded 2 episodes off the final. So it was a sad episode, but it was also quite action packed. I quite enjoyed it. I thought the battles were very good. I maybe didn't like the way that Agron and Crixus were kind of taken out as punks, but ultimately I'm not sure if that's how it happened or not, to be honest with you. And if that's how it happened, then obviously that's how they should depict it. But it was quite good, because it kind of gives you on the other hand, because it kind of gives you the idea that Tiberius is this backstabbing sort of like opportunistic little bastard, basically, that is probably going to get his, I would imagine. And I've seen the promo of the next episode as well, and it looks like that there's plans afoot to deal with that. So I really enjoyed this episode. I'm looking forward to the last 2 episodes. So I'll give this one an 8 out of 10. Have you seen it? Let me know what you think, and I look forward to seeing you next time.